Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you've been having a good past week. Basically, this video is going to be completely different from any other video I've done on this channel, and in a way I'm kind of excited because I do want to start branching out and showing you guys more of my interests and more of my life in general. So basically, I have always had a passion for health. Throughout high school, I studied it from the very beginning of when you could, which was probably in year 8 or 9, and then I finished it in year 12. And I've just always had such an interest in diet mainly. Exercise is new to me, but diet I've always been so interested in. You've probably realized that because I've spoken about health documentaries in the past, and I used to watch a lot of shows like Dr. Oz when I first started my channel. So I have always had this passion, but I've never really known how to bring it into my channel because I didn't want it to be this sudden thing. And I have a feeling it still is kind of a sudden thing, but maybe not so much because I've been sharing my diet and fitness a little bit in my vlogs. Recently, I've gone on a little health kick, I guess you could call it. Basically, I just got to one of my lowest points with health. I was the heaviest that I've ever been. I still am pretty much that same weight. And I just felt so low in energy, and I just felt crap with the way I looked. And obviously I don't think I look horrible because I'm very fortunate to be quite slim and healthy in general, but I felt crap with how I looked in comparison to how I have looked in the past. I'm sure most of you guys can relate. You know when you see old photos of yourself and you're like, what happened? I look so different now. And I used to experience that, I used to experience that quite a lot in the past, but I think it used to be pretty irrational because I never really changed body-wise. But when I saw the number change on the scale as well, I was like, something is going on here. I'm thinking it could be hormonal changes, but at the same time, I feel like I'm kind of out of puberty, so maybe that would stop. I don't really know. The second thing would be potentially my metabolism slowing down, because I think I always have had a pretty fast metabolism, as I never really did exercise, but I stayed pretty slim. So I assume that was the case, and it could be slowing down. And another thing which kind of adds up time-wise is changing to a vegetarian diet. So before I start talking about that, I'm not saying it's the vegetarian diet that's made me gain weight. Technically, in some ways, it's made me a bit healthier, but it's more just the other things I've been eating since I've gone on the vegetarian diet. So, as probably quite a lot of you guys know, about 6 or 7 months ago, actually pretty much the day we left for Vanuatu, I decided that I wanted to cut meat out of my diet. I do still have seafood, so technically I'm a pescatarian, but I just don't want to sound like a douchebag, and I don't think anyone else is necessarily a douchebag for saying that. They're just being more correct. But it seems weird going from like a normal diet to all of a sudden being like, oh, I'm pescatarian. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't sound rude to anyone else who has the same diet as me. Vegetarian is a lot more kind of widely known, so you don't feel as kind of weird saying it. Does that make sense? It's sort of understood more. So yeah, cutting the meat out of my diet and then replacing it with more vegetables is obviously good and maybe healthier in some ways. I definitely made quite a few mistakes when I changed to a vegetarian diet or pescatarian. I cut out meat basically. Any like animals that are on land. Basically, I forgot all about meat substitutes. I did have tofu, but it was like a very rare thing, so it wasn't really a part of my diet. It was almost like this thing that I ate very rarely. The second mistake I made was kind of because I didn't have the meat substitute, and that was that I was having a lot more carbs. And obviously carbohydrates are good for you, you need them for energy, but complex carbohydrates are the important ones. And I wasn't exactly having that, if I'm going to be honest. I was mainly having carbohydrates that were also mixed with fat or sugar, which was very unlike me, as throughout high school I never really had much fat or sugar in my diet. So the main 2 carbohydrates I started eating, which were never in my diet in the past, was banana bread that I used to have at university every morning. But I only go 2 days a week, but I guess it does add up. And also price-wise, that shit was $4. I was spending $8 a week on banana bread. The other thing that I was eating a lot of was chips. I don't know how to explain it for like every nationality. Like hot chips? Fries? I don't mean potato chips like in a packet. I mean like actual hot chips. And the reason for that was that everywhere I seemed to go, I'd kind of panic at first. If I didn't see anything vegetarian on the menu, I'll be like, oh, whatever, I'll just get chips. So for some reason, I only looked at things that had the vegetarian marker when I could simply just order anything and then remove the meat, unless like the meat was the main thing. Does that make sense? I actually tried it when meat was one of the main things. Basically, it was a chicken tandoori wrap. I asked for a vegetarian version of that. I challenged them. I honestly thought they were gonna laugh at me. They're like, yeah, sure. And they basically came back and replaced like all the meat with like different vegetables. There was like 8 different vegetables in there, when with the meat one there was like 2. So a lot of places do make the efforts. Also, when I wasn't having those foods, I was just eating a lot more in general. My portion sizes were becoming ridiculous and I was snacking, which is actually fine. It's good for you to eat more regularly, but I was like eating whole meals for each snack. I don't even know why I questioned the weight gain. I seriously should have been expecting it. Other than that though, I've always had a pretty good diet. I've always eaten a lot of fruit and vegetables and carbohydrates and good fats and stuff, so I think that's why it affected me so badly, because my body was like, woo, this is good, and bam, I hit it. I feel like if I always ate slightly bad, then adding those things to it wouldn't have been as bad. Also, keep in mind throughout all this time, I wasn't doing any exercise. Like, I was walking with my boyfriend sometimes, walking the dog sometimes, and walking to university sometimes, which is actually 2 kilometers to be exact, which is kind of good. Other than that, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing any like full-on cardio, and I wasn't doing anything to strengthen muscles. So it kind of makes sense why it would be at a downhill slope, because if I was doing exercise, it may have been able to fight it, I think. Anyway, so those are the circumstances that I have been in, but I got to a point where I was like, what is happening? Health has always been important to me. I obviously want to feel confident in my own skin, so why aren't I making a change? So I got to a certain point, it was almost like a certain low, so that I could go back up. I feel like everything works that way. So basically, I was talking to my dad about it, and he has quite a few friends that are dietitians and nutritionalists. So I decided to call up the nutritionalist because my dad's actually working with her, so it wasn't like I was having a consultation, but I was just getting a bit of advice about my diet since I've turned vegetarian and what I should change. And all the things I got told seemed so obvious. It's almost like all the knowledge that I learned throughout high school came back to me, and I was like, come on Sheridan, you know this shit. But it was so great to get a reminder and to be able to just write it down and then put it in practice like literally the next week. The main changes that I made were actually snacking at university. And I also noticed that when I was at home, I really struggled with making lunch meals. Other than like toasted sandwiches and like different ways of cooking eggs on toast, I just kind of went blank. And I think that's why I got so hungry, because I wouldn't really have a big lunch and then I'll just sort of be eating lots of little things throughout the day. I am thinking of making a what I ate at university today video. Please let me know if you're interested in that. People are really into what I ate today videos recently, but I have no idea if you guys are, because obviously I've never done anything like that in the past. If you're not, like if you just honestly hate them, please let me know, because I'm very happy not to make them. But if they're going to help someone in some way, just with adding some sort of healthier stuff in their diet, then I'm happy to. I hope you guys like the foods that I mentioned, because it's very possible that you just don't like them. I already love them, but just sort of forgot to include them in my diet, so I was happy to include them back in. So basically, I would get a little container and fill it with hummus. And then as a little dipping thing, I would chop up celery, and most of the time I'd be too lazy, so I'd literally just rip up celery, because who cares about presentation when you're eating it yourself? Is anyone the same as me? So I'll do that, and sometimes I'll chop up carrots as well, but very rarely. And then that would be my mid-morning snack. And then in the afternoon, I'm meant to be having nuts, actually, like a handful of nuts, but I keep forgetting to pack it, but usually I just have a boiled egg. Another mistake I made when I cut out meat was that I didn't do my research as to what vitamins I would be losing from cutting it out, so I think that's what's caused me to lose so much energy. So recently I got B12 vitamins and zinc. If you guys have any other suggestions for different vitamins I should take as a vegetarian, please let me know, I would really appreciate it. I do sometimes have those meal replacement shakes for breakfast or for lunch during the week on the days I'm not at university, but I don't have it in the morning anymore because I just don't feel like it gives me enough energy. So instead I have porridge. Is it called porridge? Yeah, it's called porridge. I can't remember the brands, but it's one that's reasonably healthy for you and doesn't have too much sugar. So I heat that up and pour chia seeds on the top. Maybe not pour, sprinkle chia seeds on the top. And then I also chuck in some frozen berries and I mix it together and it goes all like red and blue from the blueberries and raspberries. And ooh, it is so good. Anyway, for lunches, I've been doing a few different things. I've been continuing to do toasted sandwiches, but I've just been making it a bit healthier. So I've been adding like a lot more spinach and a lot more mushrooms so that I have my protein in there and some greens. I've also been adding this other meal, which takes a little bit of time to prepare, but it's actually kind of worth it, to be honest, because it's really, really nice and fills me up really well. Basically, what I do is I cook noodles in some way. I've actually been using mee goreng noodles, and I'm pretty sure they're shit for you. I always thought they were shit for you because of the actual stuff that you add in there, but I feel like that's not enough. So I don't know why I'm still using those. I have no idea. I should just use normal noodles. Like, we literally have them in our cupboard. But I guess it's just a good portion size, so I just go with that. That's an improvement I need to make. If I make an update video of this, hopefully I've changed it by then. So I cook up those, and then on a, holy crap, I don't know these terms. What's it called? Pan? Yeah, on a pan. I spray coconut oil in it first, and then I cook a few different things in there. So when Blake and I make it, we get very excited, and we cook so many different vegetables, like in intense amounts, that it's probably too much for us. But it's really, really fun, kind of just like chopping up a bunch of stuff, and it's all colourful and you throw it all in. I've been trying to keep an eye on adding at least tofu or a meat supplement once a day. So if I don't have tofu for lunch, then I'll have it for dinner, or I'll have another meat supplement. And trust me, there are a lot out there. There's a brand called Quorn, which is spelled Quorn, and I've only discovered it recently, but it basically makes meat supplements for vegetarians and vegans that look exactly like meat, and it's freaky. So it's really nice just like adding that to meals and stuff. For dinner, I still do exactly the same meals, as my parents have always cooked really healthy meals, so I really appreciate that. But in terms of drinks, I didn't have to change anything, as I've always just drunk water and herbal tea, which is water with like leaves or flowers in it. So both of them are obviously healthy. Now moving on to exercise, which is really easy to update because I wasn't doing anything before. I have gone back to Pilates, and I'm sure most of you guys would know that just from my like monthly favorites and stuff. But we were back for probably 4 weeks. Then I got that virus, lasted for like 3 or 4 weeks, so we couldn't go, which was very annoying, but we've started to go back, and I think we've had about 3 more lessons since I've been sick. I don't think I've lost any weight over these last few weeks, but at the same time, I don't really think weight is that important. Like, okay, I'm kind of lying to myself. Weight feels important to me because I'm kind of perfectionist with numbers, but that number isn't overweight. It isn't underweight. It is a healthy weight. So I shouldn't be focusing so much on that. I should be focusing more on like just how I look or how I feel. But anyway, Mum and I do Pilates once a week for about 45 minutes, as that's how long the sessions go for. I don't know why I enjoy this so much. I think it's more the factor that we have a trainer, so they're there telling us what to do the whole time, and I kind of have always had this thing where if someone's there, I want to impress them. So if they tell me to do something, I'll just do it. If I was by myself, I wouldn't really have as much of a motive. This is what a Pilates reformer looks like. So this thing up here, you can sit on, lie on, stand on, put one foot on, you can do anything on it basically. It's pretty cool. So that moves back and forwards, and the thing that makes it move back and forwards is your own strength, because there are weights in there and you can constantly adjust it. I really want to vlog my routine at Pilates. Not that I have the same routine, he basically mixes it up every single week, which is so fun. I can't even get the courage to like vlog while I'm doing it, like just film myself in the mirror, which I'm sure he wouldn't even notice, but I can't get myself to get the courage to do that, so I can't imagine like asking him to film. So other than using that reformer thing, we also use this other thing, and I have no idea what the word is, but basically it's kind of like this table that has like bars that go up on each corner and then a bar around the top, so you can hang from it, and there's like different things attached to each thing, and it's like this big complex device. Like, it does all this shit I don't even know about. I'm like always impressed. So there is mainly just a lot of weight orientated stuff on there. So most of the time I train either my core on there or my legs or my glutes. Upper body strength I'm trying to work on a lot, mainly because the industry I'm entering requires me to hold a lot. So fingers crossed I can get stronger arms. They are actually starting to have a little bit of muscle, which I'm very excited about. But anyway, moving forward into the future, because I obviously want to be even more healthier, hopefully I can start incorporating a lot more exercise outside of Pilates, because My teacher always tells me that, and I know that I should. I've begun to start walking to uni every day. I've done it in the last couple of weeks and I actually love it. It puts me in such a good mood when I get there, and also I don't have to be involved with as much public transport, so it sort of like takes away that stress. It's 2 kilometers there, but I don't walk on the way back because it's just late by then. I want to get home as quick as possible. So I want to continue walking to university every morning. You guys can hold it against me if you see me on a tram, even though I doubt you would, but still, you could. So that means I'll be walking an extra 4 kilometers per week, which isn't like a crazy amount if you're someone who's a runner, but to me that's a big deal. Running is always going to be hard to push myself to do because I've just always disliked it. If I feel tired, I stop. I just have no way of pushing myself unless someone was there. I just don't know why, but I just not really into it. So I want to try now and then, but I just don't see that being added to my lifestyle. I'd rather just add a lot more fast walking than like a run. Also, I forgot to mention at Pilates, when we're not on those 2 machines, we also do a lot of stuff on the floor with the exercise ball or just on a Pilates mat. So I really want to start doing those things at home because I don't need any weights for it. And I just realized that I could actually make a like exercise routine without equipment video once I've figured out kind of a workout that I can do at home, because I think that would be really cool, and I found that those have really helped me in the past, and also it'll be very realistic because I'm not that fit, so it's sort of like a good beginner's Pilates without equipment video. I have a feeling a lot of you guys probably want to ask like how much weight I want to lose, or what measurements I want to be, or what size I want to be in clothing or something, but I honestly don't have a goal for that. And that may sound bad, but I just feel like a lot of things like that can get kind of obsessive. And also, I want to be healthy, and I don't really have a good estimate of what is healthy within my own body. Like for example, I could think that maybe I could easily lose like 3 centimeters from my waist, but maybe that just isn't healthy for my body size. I have no idea. So I'd rather just work towards being healthier in general and then see what comes of it. But I would like to lose a tiny bit of weight. When I say a tiny bit, I literally mean like 3 or 4 kilos, but if I didn't, because I gained muscle instead, I wouldn't be mad. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is a step out of my comfort zone, so if you did enjoy it, please tell me in the comments or give it a thumbs up, because it's the best way for me to know what you guys like, because I feel like a lot of the time it's just hit and miss. You're kind of just aiming in the dark, like I hope they like this, I hope they like this. You can't really tell, so it is always good when I actually get told by you guys. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and ask me anything in the comments. Feel free to ask me questions for my Q&A that are related to this kind of topic, as it'll be awesome to start talking about more lifestyle stuff in my Q&As. Also, side note, what do you guys think of my hair straightened? I like never straighten my hair, honestly. I probably do like once every 9 months, and every time I'm never really sure. But I feel like for once, I actually like it. I think it's because of the way my hair's cut, the layers makes it more interesting. Anyway, I'm just blabbing now, so I'm going to go. So I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye!